Dr. Kate O'Shaughnessy, the Australian High Commissioner to Mauritius and Seychelles and Ambassador to Comoros and Madagascar, Mr. Dominique Provençal, Head of Business Banking, Mauritius Commercial Bank, members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps, regional and international organizations, our mentors and mentees on the Business Without Borders program, members of the AMFC, distinguished guests, all protocols observed. Good morning to you all. I am Rima Ramsaran, the current president 2020-2022 of the AMFC, the Association Mauricienne des Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise. And I will be hosting the initial part of today's event, which will be three-tiered. The first part will be the official opening of the graduation ceremony. The second will focus on the partners and stakeholders on the program. And the third part will be the graduation ceremony itself. So it is a great privilege for me to welcome you officially on behalf of AMFC this morning. I started my mandate last year with the launching of the Business Without Borders, the BWB as we affectionately call it, in September 2020. And I'm extremely honored to have spearheaded the program and to be closing the first cohort today in November 2021. It has been an extremely challenging experience, loaded with constraints, but interspersed with many small blessings. And it is with an immense sense of satisfaction and feel-good factor that I stand here tall today, definitely not in height, but in faith, conviction, and passion for this program. BWB 2021 has its origin in the Australian Coaching and Mentoring Program, which the AMFC had set up in 2015 in collaboration with the Australian High Commission, with the objectives to enable women entrepreneurs to grow their business, provide them the opportunity to get into mainstream development, and overcome barriers when stepping into the formal sectors. BWB is the third phase of this collaboration with the Australian High Commission and has seen the Mauritius Commercial Bank joining in as well as a privileged partner. From very timid beginnings in 2019, when the third phase of the program was initially conceived, Business Without Borders took unprecedented proportions as it was completely remodeled to suit the new COVID reality, digitalization. So basically, Business Without Borders is a capacity building cum mentoring program for established women entrepreneurs in the Indian Ocean Islands, namely Comoros, Madagascar, Mauritius, and Rodrigues. 7 modules have been prepared by local and Australian trainers, all specialists in their respective areas, and made available online on a carefully selected digital platform, the Talent Learning Management System. Mentees were required to follow the modules online at their own pace, and dedicated local and international mentors with proven capacity to identify entrepreneurial weaknesses and assist mentees in overcoming the constraints through real-life entrepreneurial experiences have been guiding them throughout and helping them apply the learning materials in their respective enterprises. And we are closing the first batch of Business Without Borders program today with a resounding success rate of 70%, despite all the constraints along the way, and more importantly, despite COVID. In terms of figures, we count 3 graduates from Comoros out of 4 participants, 11 graduates from Madagascar, with unfortunately 4 dropouts along the way, 1 graduate from Rodrigues, the only one who enrolled on the program actually, and 23 from Mauritius out of 34 recruits. And our deepest gratitude as we embark on this graduation ceremony today goes to the Department of Finance and Trade of the Australian Embassy in Mauritius, as well as the Australian Aid Programme for initiating the Business Without Borders with us, the NCB for their unflinching support throughout all our projects, our collaborators from Australia, including Diane Thompson, Liz Ward, and Andrea Plawitsky, Aline Wong, the mentor who is always covering our back, together with all the past residents, and I'd like to specially mention Dr. Patricia Devukumsing, Marie-France Chamari, and Nekrani Subhadra, amongst others who are following us online. The exceptional executive team of AMFC, without forgetting Rita Iralal, Maya Simnat, and Shabnam Ismail, and last but not least, FCM, and the amazing team of mentors from all over the world, led by FCM President Marie-Christine Louis. Thank you all for such an amazing experience and for your trust in AMFC. In fact, the Business Without Borders experience has been so fulfilling and enriching that we have more or less extended the program to startups through the Academy for Women Entrepreneurs in collaboration with the US Embassy in Mauritius and Seychelles last month. Or is also a capacity building, hand-holding program consisting of 13 modules related to the preparation of the business plan that have been created by the Arizona State University's Thunderbird School of Global Management and uploaded on the digital platform Dream Builder. AMFC then steps in to contextualize the program to the Mauritian entrepreneurship environment and to operationalize the business plan to make it a reality. We are halfway along the program and happy to be gradually empowering our young and aspiring women entrepreneurs. A special note of thanks to the US Embassy, who is present amongst us today through the Chargé d'Affaires, Jude Stibar. The BWB and the O program therefore feed into each other, and together they close the loop in our endeavor to support both existing and aspiring women entrepreneurs. In fact, AMFC is striving through these two programs to create and sustain a culture of business and entrepreneurship amongst women in Mauritius and in the neighboring Indian Ocean islands in an attempt to empower women and make them financially independent. Beyond these flagship programs, AMFC is also proudly representing Mauritius as the COMESA Federation of Women in Business, Mauritius chapter, since September 2021. This adhesion comes in to further consolidate our initiatives in the region. We have launched and carried out the Regional Enterprise Competitiveness and Access to Market, the RECAM program last week, oriented towards the capacity building of women entrepreneurs in the agro and leather manufacturing sector in terms of market preparedness to penetrate Africa. And as ComFweb brings us closer to the region, to Africa, to our roots actually, FCEM, our global affiliation, is helping us open up frontiers and perspective to the world. We are extremely honored to have been selected to conduct the FCEM World Committee meeting in May 2022, next year. With more than 100 countries affiliated to FCEM, Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise Mondiale, Mauritius will be hosting the annual meeting for the third time next year, after the World Congress in 2001 and the committee meeting in 2011. And it is a matter of great pride to have been chosen for the third time within 2 decades when there are so many countries waiting in the queue. Whoa. AMFC has been so challenging that I can talk forever. But let's get back to our event of the day. I'd like to end on a special note to the mentees who are graduating today. The road does not end here. BWB1 does. But the relationship that has been created with AMFC, and with your mentors especially, does not end here. Mentoring is not a process that can be pinned down to a start and an end phase. It is a continuous growth process for both parties. So sustain that relationship you've built with your respective mentors, and who knows, it might also yield positive results in terms of business collaborations, vertical or horizontal integrations, market openings, you name it. My second message to you goes as follows. You've been fortunate enough to benefit from such a program, which has a global outreach. It is now time for you to give out some of what you have received by joining us as mentors on Business Without Borders too. And through you, let's build together a durable support system, a network of strong mentors which can only further our mission of further empowering women entrepreneurs. As the saying goes, real queens fix each other's crowns. So let's reach out to other women in need. Let's consolidate this framework and endeavor to make a real difference in women's life. And I'd like to end on this note today. Thank you. Let me now introduce you to our chief guest, the Honorable Mrs. Kalpana Devi Kundusha, Minister of Gender Equality and Family Welfare. I believe our minister here does not warrant any presentation. But just for the record, Honorable Mrs. Kalpana Devi Kundusha has acceded to the post of Minister of Gender Equality and Family Welfare since November 2019, since the last general elections actually. She has since then participated in several high-level summits, including the Commonwealth Ministers for Women's Affairs and Gender and Development on COVID-19 in September 2020, the 65th Commission on the Status of Women in March 2021, the Indo-Pacific Business Summit, Women's Economic Empowerment, Inclusive Prosperity in July 2021, amongst others. Please join me to welcome Honorable Mrs. Kapana Devi Kundusha for her address.
With all the protocols observed, I wish you all a very good morning. It's with a lot of pleasure that I join myself to you for the graduation ceremony of the first cohort of participants to the Business Without Borders program. And I should, at the very outset, seize this opportunity to present my heartfelt congratulations for the launch of the first Academy of Women Entrepreneurs in Mauritius by the Association Mauricienne des Femmes Chefs d'Entreprise, which I unfortunately could not attend. It was on 28th of October, if I'm not mistaken. So well done, very well done on that. I have only praises for this association for such an incredible, very laudable initiative, because we have one thing in common, all of us sitting in this room today. We realize the importance of women entrepreneurship for our economic development. Unfortunately, we realize it, but it is something that is still very underexploited, I'm afraid to say. And it's quite strange because economies characterized by high levels of female participation, female entrepreneurial activities have shown that they're more resilient during financial crisis, during economic slowdowns. And I am not the one saying that. There has been a Global Entrepreneurship Research Association of 2017 that demonstrated that very clearly. Studies have also put forward that a full potential scenario, that is one whereby women participate fully in the economy, identically to men, on the same level and the same amount contributed by men. That means achieving a contribution as much as $28 trillion, or 26% to annual global GDP by 2025. This projection could, however, be revised on the lower side, considering the fact that the world has gone, or is still going through, the COVID-19 pandemic. All that having said and done, the point I wanted to make is that if we collectively support women entrepreneurship and the growth of it, we'll be able to significantly contribute to more resilience, sustainability of socio-economic growth of our country and eventually as a global economy. It is a fact as of now that we have not yet thought about quantifying the contribution of our women entrepreneurs to the GDP, and I think we should do so. I will advocate, which I do all the time anyway, for this to be taken into consideration, because the whole idea is to measure. You can only improve on what you measure. So if we do not include, we do not quantify the contribution of our women entrepreneurs in the GDP, we will not be able to improve on that. Concerning Mauritius, Ms. Rima earlier on mentioned about the negative effects and the constraints you've undergone because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And in fact, a recent study conducted by the UNDP at the level of my ministry confirms the negative impact that the pandemic has had on our women entrepreneurs. And taking all that into consideration, I'm happy to share with you that, something that you would have noticed anyway, that the government has not remained insensitive to this situation. And as Minister responsible for gender equality and family welfare, I had personally approached my honourable colleague, the Minister of Finance, so that we can bring more financial support to our women entrepreneurs in this particular dire time. And for the budget 2020-2021, an envelope of 200 million rupees for loans up to 500,000 rupees at a very concessional rate of 0.5% was approved, and the Development Bank of Mauritius has been entrusted for the management of this portfolio. In addition, our government, in order to maintain employment and businesses of our women entrepreneurs, The government has introduced many financial schemes, which I'm sure you're all aware of, naming a few of them: the wage assistance scheme, the self-employed, the very first in the history, the self-employed assistance scheme, like I mentioned earlier on, interest-free loans from the DBM for cash flow issues faced by women entrepreneurs. In short, just to summarize, it is again to reiterate that we are very conscious at the level of government, at the highest level of governance, that women entrepreneurs have their contribution, they have their voice, and unfortunately the pandemic have impacted them differently. So the measures and the financial incentives put forward by the government in this budget have taken into consideration that impact on our women, and obviously trying to help as much as possible. Talking about women entrepreneurship is one thing, encouraging them is one thing, the FCME is one thing. Taking it to the next level is what we should be aiming at. I think there needs to be a new construct entirely for women entrepreneurship. We need to come up with transformational, very organic changes that will give a new impetus for this sector to grow. We need to capture the challenges faced by women entrepreneurs during the pandemic. We need to identify more opportunities that can be laying ahead and put in place the structural mechanism that will effectively support their potential. And if we think of the process of entrepreneurship development from generation of ideas to consumption, we can then gauge the immensity of opportunities that lay ahead for our women entrepreneurs along the value chain. Hence, literally, the sky is the limit, literally, and we should encourage and support all our women to break the ceiling, to overcome the obstacle. And the biggest obstacle that I have noticed as a minister responsible for this portfolio, the biggest obstacle that women believe they have is self-limitation. And that is something that needs a very close addressing. My ministry, in collaboration with the National Women Entrepreneur Council, is finalizing the details of the l'Assise de l'entrepreneuriat, which was announced in the budget. This l'Assise de l'entrepreneuriat féminin is going to be an ideal platform to give the opportunities to all stakeholders so that they can contribute to a blueprint which will pave the way to a new and successful entrepreneurial journey for our women. We shall also be introducing and launching the National Women Innovation Award to boost up innovation of our women entrepreneurs. And I am of the firm belief that we cannot compete if we do not innovate. Innovation remains the backbone of any enterprise, be it women entrepreneurship or any other business. And I wish, let me put that on record, that I really wish that we can all work together too, in the extent that is possible, in our own respective mandates, so that we can become successful partners in uplifting our women entrepreneurs in Mauritius. Because, like I said at the very beginning of my discourse, of my intervention, we have one common goal. The common goal is uplifting and promoting women entrepreneurship. I will have to cut my speech short because I have to rush to Parliament, but just to share with you that I had the honor and the opportunity to be the chief guest at the International Women Entrepreneur Show, which is organized by the International Women Entrepreneur Society in Dubai last month. And I have seized this opportunity to extend an invitation to the women entrepreneur in the UAE, in that region actually, to develop a strategic partnership to identify new areas of collaboration, especially to expand the network in the African region, using Mauritius as a platform, which we are very adequately built for, so that we can broaden the market and the penetration of our women entrepreneurs into the African market. There's also the Women Speak platform, which is a digital platform administered by the African Union, to which the National Women Entrepreneur Council is the representative of Mauritius. And I hope that full use is going to be made of this platform, which fosters peer-to-peer learning, knowledge exchange, mentoring, facilitating, a bit of what you guys are already doing beautifully in your endeavors. So allow me to once again congratulate your association for the coaching and the mentoring that they're providing to all our women entrepreneurs, and heartfelt thanks to the Australian Embassy for their continuous support in our common goal. Training remains a continuous process for the acquisition not only of fundamental knowledge but also of the critical know-how that all our women entrepreneurs require in order to do progress. And to all the participants today who have successfully completed their course that has been imparted to you by the association, I wish you my very, very personal best wishes. You need to now successfully go ahead and apply everything, all the knowledge and all the know-how that you have acquired from the expert women entrepreneur who imparted the course to you, and go ahead, forge ahead, believing and knowing inside yourself that the future is female. I am the Minister of Gender Equality, I should not be saying that, but the future is female. We constitute a huge, yes, there you go. So with those few words, I wish you all an excellent day. Once again, congratulations on your successful completion of your courses, and I hope to see you very, very soon again in the near future. Thank you.
La peur que j'ai eue avant de commencer le programme BWB, c'était le challenge qui se présentait à mon entreprise pendant cette période de Covid.
The most challenging aspect of my business is dealing with people, driving people and connecting with people coming from different backgrounds and cultures.
La chose qui me faisait le plus peur par rapport à mon entreprise était ce que je pouvais apporter de plus.
Whether I am to the level to meet the requirements.
Ne pas savoir comment m'y prendre pour la deuxième entreprise que je venais de fonder à plus de 45 ans et dans un domaine que je ne maîtrisais pas encore, même avec plusieurs années d'expérience dans l'entrepreneuriat. C'était un vrai challenge pour moi, d'autant plus que c'était pendant le contexte du Covid.
L'aspect du programme BWB qui m'a été le plus utile était la formation en leadership.
Le marketing.
She was learning from mentors with proven track records and being exposed to real-life cases.
Accompagnement par mon mentor, une femme pleine d'expérience et experte dans son domaine.
BWB has been my luck and opportunity of exposure to the family of the business world that has been my dream always. A program like the BWB is a good time for women entrepreneurs to deepen their confidence and to prove what they can do for themselves, hence contributing to the economy of their country.
La confiance en soi.
Plus de professionnalisme au sein de leur petite entreprise.
Empower more women to embrace entrepreneurship.
Apporter aux femmes entrepreneurs de mon pays, Madagascar, et en particulier celles du GIFEM, la mise à jour de leurs connaissances pour développer leurs entreprises, mais aussi d'acquérir les soft skills nécessaires pour affronter les nouveaux défis du monde des affaires actuelles. Mais aussi, c'est un bon moyen de faire du réseautage avec d'autres femmes de divers horizons qui partagent les mêmes préoccupations.
Au prochain groupe de mentorés, je dirais consacrez-vous un peu plus de temps à vos mentors.
Je dirais que ça vaut largement le temps que vous consacrez à ce programme.
I would say it's a fantastic program where you get to be mentored by experienced individuals with proven track records. Make the most of it and don't hesitate to pass on what you will learn to other women entrepreneurs.
De bien profiter des 6 mois de mentoring et de formation. La plateforme dédiée à ce programme est un formidable outil tant dans le marketing, dans le leadership du digital que les finances.
It's a golden opportunity to grasp for a bright future of your own business.
For me, the whole BWB experience in one word is transformational.
Professionnalisme.
Networking,
C'est succès. Et je remercie l'AMFCE et le GIFEM pour cette formidable opportunité.
The biggest change came from a newfound balance. It's only after she started to impose her own conditions that she was able to confidently set up schedules, which, she found out, solved most of her issues. Her ability to learn and take to practice very efficiently did the rest. Becoming a mentor is beyond a professor-student experience. It is challenging because you and your mentee technically have the same objective. It is also fulfilling because you both aim for success. And it is enriching through the discussions and debate you have together. A program like Business Without Borders allows you not to be alone in your journey. It brings guidance and makes you part of a network of women and men ready to share both their experience and expertise. You get to meet friendly and supportive people from all over the world. And the one word describing the program for me would be enriching.
It is a great pleasure for me to address the floor today for the graduation ceremony of Business Without Borders 2021. Même ma voix est très émue. After having seen, I have seen the film at the same time like you. It is really, really inspiring. The challenge of digitalizing the mentoring and capacity building program has been accelerated by the difficult situation of the pandemic and the need to embrace the digital era for our survival. Today, we are there. And this has been made possible by joining forces from our sponsors, the Australian Direct Aid Programme, the Mauritius Commercial Bank, to the strong network of FCEM. A smart collaboration with our cohorts from Australia. Under the leadership of Commissioner Diane Thompson, my colleague, and the leadership of IMFCE President Rima Ramsahar. The technical team, Australian and Mauritian experts, have proven to be a winning team. Albeit the 7-8 hours difference in time, we had to look for a consensus to have our meetings. The forceful characters of all these women entrepreneurs, as one of the project lead, it was just amazing and needed a social leadership. It was not my enterprise. I couldn't say, do that, or do that. I had to have really a social leadership to drive the team. Our fundamental rule is to agree to disagree, and then we vote. So it was democracy, the team. With a shared vision, determination, and tenacity, we achieved this piece of work. We believe that we will build a strong community of women entrepreneurs, reach a critical mass, to be visible, and to be a key player in the economy of the respective country. And a message to your Minister, Françoise, is to say that we want to be significant enough to be part of the GDP of the country. I hope that in the next budget we can have a figure. And you can count on us for our collaboration. Now I will switch to French because all our participants are mainly francophone.
Mes sœurs amies des Comores et Madagascar, je sais que vous m'avez eu longuement pendant ces quelques semaines, Rima et Samira et moi-même, à vous motiver pour terminer ce programme et comment on est très contente aujourd'hui. Merci à toutes les participants et mentors pour votre travail et votre énergie pour réussir ensemble ce challenge. Nos félicitations à toutes celles qui ont réussi la totalité et encourageant les autres qui n'ont pas terminé à se rapprocher de leur association nationale pour un soutien continu. Ce projet unique en son genre, a un grand potentiel pour aider les femmes entrepreneurs, les accompagner dans leurs idées et accroître leur entreprise. Et pour les mentors, comme Hilda, faire une différence dans la vie d'une femme entrepreneur est une très bonne action en elle-même, est une façon de give back to community. Notre ambition, c'est d'atteindre au moins 1000 femmes dans les prochaines années. Les ressources sont présentes à travers le réseau de FCEL, Femmes Chefs d'entreprise mondiale. La diversité d'expériences et de savoir-faire, très très riche. Nous sommes une grande famille de 100 pays et plus de 5 millions de membres. Nous présenterons ce projet comme modèle à notre prochain comité mondial FCEM qui sera tenu en mai 2022 pour mobiliser les mentors, davantage de mentors, pour notre projet. Nous avons la chance d'être dans un village global. Cela est certainement un atout pour augmenter notre facteur de réussite. Presque tous les travaux de recherche réalisés sur l'autonomisation économique des femmes soulignent clairement le manque d'informations et de compétences, le manque de financement et le manque de marché rencontré par les femmes entrepreneurs. C'est pourquoi, en tant que commissaire FCEM, sous l'égide de la MFCE, j'ai initié un projet de recherche, action, avec 3 composantes. Accès au marché, accès aux finances, accès aux informations et technologies. La première axe de cette initiative a pu être réalisée avec le concours d'une stagiaire que j'ai rencontrée en France, Anastasia Dalbokov, du EDHEC Business School de Roubaix en France. Et j'ai mis à côté d'elle une des mentors de BWB, Claire Guigou, aussi de France. Ces résultats attendus nous permettront de renforcer les réflexions stratégiques de AMFCE et de proposer un plan d'action 22-24 à l'avancement des femmes entrepreneurs. Merci d'avoir participé à la première axe. Là, je dis aux femmes de la région, les Mauriciennes et les femmes de Madagascar, Comores, Seychelles et Rodrigue. Nous partagerons les résultats en janvier 2022. La nécessité d'innover et d'embrasser l'ère numérique est vitale pour notre survie. Let's walk our motto. Alone we are invisible, and together we are invincible. Proud to be a woman entrepreneur. Thank you.
A very important day for the Business Without Borders program. This whole concept has been 7, maybe even more years in its inception, and I have to congratulate everybody involved. Particularly want to thank the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade in Australia, who are based in Mauritius, for their support and encouragement throughout the whole process. It came about as an idea of helping businesswomen in the Indian Ocean Islands. Arlene Wong and myself had a conversation, and from there it took us at least 7 years to get to this actual day, and nobody could be more proud of the teamwork between Mauritius and Australia than I, and incredibly proud of the result that we have produced. Thank you to everyone. Congratulations to the mentees. You have shown great aptitude in getting thus far, and I know that this is going to positively affect your business in the future. It may not even be now, but it will certainly put you in good stead for when your business grows. and become successful. Congratulations, everyone.
Very good morning. I'm very pleased to be among you today to celebrate you, the graduates, of the first mentoring program provided by AMFCE, with the support of MCB and the Australian High Commission. First, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations to all of you who have successfully completed the program. What you achieved is no small feat, considering what we are currently going through with the pandemic. Well done to all of you. At MCB, we are fully satisfied with the mentoring program offered by AMFCE and our partnership. Some people may find it odd that a bank could be interested in the cause of women and women entrepreneurship, when in fact MCB's commitment to women entrepreneurs is fully in line with our corporate sustainability program, Success Beyond Numbers. The first pillar of this program is to contribute to a vibrant and sustainable local economy by supporting, amongst others, our local entrepreneurs. Not later than last May, MCB published its pledge for gender equality as part of its Success Beyond Numbers strategy. We also signed the Gender Diversity Charter of the Africa CEO Forum, Women Working for Change. In the process, we have set up a comprehensive action plan following an assessment carried out with the Agence Française de Développement. The main objective of this action plan is for MCB to achieve by 2026 a target of 40% of female representation within its middle and senior management. As we view the role of women in our society very highly, we have also set up within MCB a working group to ensure that our gender objectives are achieved. On top of increasing female representation among our management, MCB has also decided to increase maternity and paternity leaves, as we consider that men also have a fundamental role to play within the family, and that it's not the sole responsibility of women to devote time to newly born children. Moreover, a comprehensive study, MCB Focus number 82, focusing on gender equality, was also released in May. The study, entitled Promoting Gender Equity to Sustain a More Inclusive Development Plan, probed the issue faced by women across the world in Mauritian society and more particularly in the field of work. One of the key outcomes of the report is that women are seen to suffer the most from the pandemic, and I think it relates to the point of Rima earlier and the Minister as well. And that they have a vital role to play in rebuilding the country's economy in the aftermath of the pandemic, and this is owing to their resilience. Now that I've clarified the motivations behind MCB's involvement with AMFCE's mentoring program, I would like to come to another crucial point when it comes to the role of women in today's world, the unconscious bias that women may be subjected to. I think it's high time to stop placing women in boxes when it comes to what women can and can't do as entrepreneurs. We need to stop thinking in terms of applying the brakes to your creativity, to your talent, and to what you can achieve and have achieved. Similarly to business without borders, there should be no borders to your capabilities. You can do and become anything you feel like. For these reasons, I also find it important to change our mindsets about successful women and eventually to stop promoting women's success stories. Women being successful should become the norm and not being viewed as something out of the ordinary. I'm also pleased to let you know that MCB has agreed to renew its partnership with AMFCE for a second consecutive year as the main partner. The sponsorship includes the mentoring program for the second batch of Business Without Borders. The sponsorship goes beyond financial support alone, and it also encompasses webinars and training workshops. We are proud to support AMFCE, which is an ideal platform allowing women to mentor other women. I wish you plenty of success in your future business, careers, and endeavors, and I hope that you can be role models for other aspiring female entrepreneurs. I thank you for your attention.
I have to say that's the most incredible review of my history that I've ever experienced at an official event. Someone in your team has done incredible research. So let me not keep you all from having a cup of tea and interacting, and perhaps you would allow me to be extremely revolutionary and observe all protocols, acknowledge my distinguished colleagues from AMFCE, from the Federal Association, from MCB, diplomatic colleagues, and perhaps get straight down to sharing a few thoughts with you. And I have to say my team has written a speech with lots of good statistics for me, but I think I'm actually not going to go into any of that because the Honourable Minister, my colleague from MCB has provided with a really good overview of the reasons why it's important for women to be in business. So I perhaps just wanted to share with you a couple of personal reflections. And the first is actually to build on a concept that a few of our speakers have mentioned, which is around confidence and women's confidence to engage in business. This is a really interesting concept to me. Many of you have said women lack confidence. How do we build that? I want to ask another question, which is why do women lack that confidence? And Dominique, I thank you for the work that you've outlined at MCB is doing, because I think you hit the nail on the head. Women often lack confidence because we don't see those examples around us. I can tell you, when I was 20 years old and starting my studies, and I had lived in a very remote, very small part of Australia, I had never seen an example of a woman ambassador. I had never seen an example of a woman in foreign affairs. I had never seen an example of a woman leading a business. Think about that. I'm 45 years old. That was only 25 years ago. To be here today, in this room, with women entrepreneurs, women graduates of the Business Without Borders program, that is an incredible privilege. And the work that you have done to graduate from that program to get to this point, not only are you changing your own lives, you're changing the lives of young women that are coming through, young women that will follow you. There are going to be young women going to school in Mauritius right now that will see what you do as business women. And unlike me I'm just subtracting 25 years from now, unlike me in 1996, they're going to see you and they're going to think, I could do that. They're not going to be like me and think, I don't know what I'm going to do when I grow up. I guess I get married and have children because that's what women do. And that is one of the many things that women do, not all women. In the end, it turns out I didn't get married and have any children because I was too busy travelling everywhere. But young women in Mauritius are going to see what you do and think, I could do that too. That you are offering young women that choice is an incredible contribution to your community. So I congratulate you. That is why the Australian High Commission has been working with AMFCE since 2015. That's why I hope we'll continue to work with you. I'm so looking forward to hearing about the next version of the program. I know that all of the graduates from the current tranche will make sure that you mentor and help the next batch of women coming through, so that it's much easier for young girls and women in Mauritius and around the region to achieve their full potential. So I congratulate you. It's a privilege to be here to share this incredible day with you, and I look forward to hearing about your successes. Thanks very much.